Hey everyone, welcome back to this video in the ISIS series. If you haven't seen the previous videos, I'm going to put the playlist below. Other than that, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about summarization with ISIS in this video. Now, similar to OSPF, routers within a level must have an identical copy of the link state database, which makes sense. Otherwise, our Dijkstra algorithm will break if we don't have identical copies across those routers. So because of that limitation, if you remember in OSPF, that means you could only do redistribution either on an ABR or an ASBR. With ISIS, it's very similar. The difference is that you can only summarize when routes are entering a level. Okay, so it's not that when routes are entering an area, it's when routes are entering a level. This means we could do from level 1 into level 2, from level 2 into level 1, which we've kind of seen already with default routing, and then also when we're doing redistribution. So in our network here that we've been working on, there are a couple spots where we could do where we could do summarization, and we're going to see a couple of those cases today. Now, like I said, between L2 to L1, so we have this L2 link, we've already seen that when going down into L1, we just send a default route there. I maybe will get to default routing on this video. In all likelihood, I'll probably get to it in the next video. But when we go from L1 into L2, we don't have any summarization. So we could see that by looking at all the routes in area 20 and seeing all of them coming here into L2, so going from L1 into L2, and let's look at router 1, which should have all of the routes from area 20. So let's go ahead to router 1. Oops, conf-t. Not sure why I even went into conf-t, but okay. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have all of the transit links, all the 10 dots between the routers in area 20. So let's do something just very simple just to demonstrate how summarization works. Let's go ahead, and on R2 here, let's just say that we don't want any of the transit links to be known outside of the area. So we're going into level 2. We're going to summarize all of those 10 dots into just a 10.0.0.0/8 network. Okay, so let's head over to router 2, and let me clear the screen. Let's go to conf-t. We have to go into the ISIS process and just use the summary address command. Okay, very simple command, 10.0.0.0. We're going to do 255.0.0.0 because we want a /8. We can hit enter. Let's head over back to router 1. And actually, let me get some separation. Let's begin at the word gateway just to make things cleaner. And as you could see, we still have the loopback, so we still have 765, but we just have a 10.0.0/8 network. So it's just a summary address command, very simple. By default, using that command, it just summarizes routes from level 1 into level 2. Okay? Very simple. So we've seen L1 into L2, as I just showed you. We've seen level 2 into L1, which is just default routing by default. Now let's take a look at the redistribution summarization option. In OSPF, if you'll remember, when going from area to area, you have to use the summary address. Use the area range, and then doing redistribution, you use summary address. With ISIS, things are much simpler, but there is something that we will need to note in our topology here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to R7, which is all the way over here on the right. And R7, if we look at the interfaces, I have these loopbacks here, which are 12, 13, 14, and 15, which they're all /8s, and we're going to summarize them into a /6. So I haven't actually done any redistribution yet. So if I go into R6 and show IP route ISIS, I don't see any of those loopbacks. So the first thing let's do is let's go ahead and get those loopbacks into ISIS, and then we'll do the summary. So router ISIS, if I could type router ISIS lab, and we'll use the redistribution command, but I want to show you if we just do redistribute connected, and then head over to router 6, I'm still not seeing the routes, okay? So this is kind of the weird thing about iOS and ISIS redistribution, is that when we do redistribute connected, we actually have to specify that it's going into level 1. By default, it'll do redistribution into level 2, but it doesn't for level 1. Even though this router is only a level 1 router, it doesn't matter. We have to specify level 1. So now if we go back to router 6, now we see all of the loopbacks here. So let's clean that up and just put all of those into one summary address. So we'll do summary address. It's the same command, 12.0.0.0.252.0.0.0, and I forgot the 2. And just like with the redistribute command, we also have to specify that it's a level 1 route here. So level 1, head over to R6, and there's our 12 dot. So redistribution, very simple between, I'm sorry, not redistribution, summarization, very simple. It's just a matter of knowing where to do it. Okay, so remember that it's going into the level, not into the area. So we have L1, L2, L1, and then we have some external networks here. So I'll just say like E for external. This means that we can do summarization here. We could do summarization here. Again, we could do summarization here or here. And we could summarize here because it's going into the levels. Remember, this is different between areas and levels. So let's say we were L2, L2, and let's say this was like a different L2 area, like let's say like this was area 6, we would not be able to summarize on router 2 going towards this area, okay? Because even though it's different areas, it's in the same level, okay? So remember, when you're doing the design, you can only summarize between levels, not between areas. I'm sorry, not between, going into levels. Going into areas, no, because you could have, all the different areas in level 2. So I didn't want to confuse you. I just want to really drill that point home because that's going to be a major design, consideration we have to take. I kind of wanted to get into default routes, but seeing as the video is already close to 9 minutes and I don't love videos being more than 10, let's skip the default routes for the next video. As for now, let me know if you guys have any questions or comments about summarization. The configuration is quite simple. It's just knowing where to do it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video on default routing.